and that's openness and transparency. We are executing the plan that we have, and let me share with you, because we will succeed. And when we look back at this time, however difficult it has been, we will get through it, and we will get through it successfully. What we will all say is that we worked our way through a difficult time. We administered the laws as they were intended, and we lived up to our values and our principles as a nation. What I meant is precisely that. The border is closed. I call it a heartbreaking situation, a tremendous challenge.
How would you grade yourself?
Senator, I'm a tough grader on myself, and I give myself an A for effort.
Donald Trump inherited, and now we're from Barack Obama, and now he's doing it again from Joe Biden, who did oversee a lot of growth. So, Steve, let's turn to your second chart where you highlight how the border and climate change were major issues in the year that was.
Yes, that's exactly right, of course, Jonathan. The border was not Biden's finest moment, frankly. You can see what happened here. And Trump is not wrong when he talks about how border crossings were quite low. They were running about 74,000 a month when he left office. And they, in fact, did shoot up. Some of it was some things Biden said and some ways that they put a moratorium, for example, on deportations. But in fact, we did get up here almost to 300,000 a month. But what maybe people don't entirely know is that border crossings have come back down almost to where they were under Trump. They're running at about 100,000 at the moment. So we went up the hill and we went down the hill, but unfortunately that was pretty costly to Biden during the election.
What's going on, everyone? Talks with Kenny here today. We're going to be talking about immigration and its effect on our supply. As you guys know, basic economics is supply and demand. If you bring in more supply for something, the demand for it will decrease. That is common with everything. And I always talk about mass immigration and how many Americans believe that we need a pause on immigration, all kinds of immigration. This sentiment been around for a while now. I find it funny that these people keep trying to list people who are nationalistic as somehow woke right. And this characterization is coming from people who are not Americans, right? Michaela Peterson is someone I've seen use the term. James Lindsay is the one who created the term, if I remember correctly. But he's a liberal. And you have Constantine Kezin, who are like the main people pushing this because they keep adding it and it's like almost like they keep trying to add it on. But my argument for them is just because you use something of a similar rhetorical or rhetorical structure doesn't mean that you are that thing. The core principle with America first, because if you want to look at America first, is, hey, should a country look out for its citizens and make them a priority? It makes logical sense because the American citizen vote for the party. The American citizen is the one that paid most of the taxes to the government in the country. So shouldn't the country be centered around the well-being and prosperity of the American citizen? If you answer yes, how can you call the sentiment that's bubbling up about immigration as woke right? Makes no damn sense. And Michaela, she is perpetrating the very thing she's accusing other people are saying, is that she keeps trying to make it about race when it's not about race, it's about nationality. Here's what Michaela had to say, and then we'll go back to why I'm highlighting you saw it. You saw the Biden's chart. 300,000 a month he was averaging of border crossings. And then the last minute ditch effort. So you created the problem, then you fixed the own problem you created and you expected to get reelected. This is the Democratic Party for you. And you saw how the MSNBC, and the reason why I chose MSNBC is that you saw how they tried to downplay the impact, they downplayed the results. And I'll show you all the unintended consequences of mass immigration, legal and illegal. If we didn't have illegal immigration, I think this problem with H-1B1s wouldn't be a thing. But the fact that we already have so many people here, there's already so much supply in the country, it's lowering wages. It's making it harder to have affordable housing because there's more people in the country. I did a video. JD Vance highlighted this before.
Well, Tim just said something that I agree with. We don't want to blame immigrants for higher housing prices, but we do want to blame Kamala Harris for letting in millions of illegal aliens into this country, which does drive up costs, Tim. 25 million illegal aliens competing with Americans for scarce homes is one of the most significant drivers of home prices in the country. It's why we have massive increases in home prices that have happened right alongside massive increases in illegal alien populations under Kamala Harris's leadership. Now, Tim just
So this is as common sense as you're gonna get, right? Supply and demand. And the reason why I'm making this video is because recently there was a report that released that homelessness has increased by 18% nationwide. And get this, in blue states where they're considered sanctuary city, with California being the worst, have the highest percentage of the homelessness crisis going on right now, the highest homelessness increase right now. A correlation is most of them are blue states. Yes, you heard that right. Blue states have a homelessness increase of 153%. Homelessness increase in blue states. I wonder what all these blue states have in common. California, New York, Massachusetts. What do you all have in common? Oh, they're sanctuary cities. And they have some of the highest home prices in the country. Why is that? Supply and demand. You can't escape it. But here's how Michaela's characterizing the argument. Oh, it's based on racism. I don't care if all the 25 illegal immigrants were from Europe. It'll still be a problem because it's a balancing act. You can't have too much of one thing. And right now, we had 25 million people go over the border. You saw the chart in the opening of the video. And people will try to make this argument, oh, well, Joe Biden deported way more people than Donald Trump. Yes, but he also let in way more people than Donald Trump. Donald Trump, when he deported people, it was a net negative. Because I believe throughout Trump's entire term, only 1.4 million people crossed the border in Trump's entire term. Joe Biden beat him in 2 years. Make it make sense. So if Trump deports 1 million people out, it's a net negative because he actually lowered the population numbers in the United States of America. While Joe Biden, if he let in 25 million people and he only deported 2.5 million people, it's still a plus 23 in the country. Make it make sense. But this is how they try to get you with statistics. This is how people lie with statistics. This is how people misframe a narrative with statistics. And I'm tired of them trying to brag about this economy. This economy is not good. Y'all, The Guardian went out and made an article saying that Americans falsely believe that Joe Biden's economy is bad. I'm tired of the gaslighting. Biden's economy isn't good. Real wages are down. Inflation's up 20%. That means if you didn't get a 20% raise over the 4 years, you lost money. You lost buying power. This is why everyone's complaining about grocery prices. But y'all keep trying to brag about this economy. What world y'all living in? Y'all want to talk about job numbers when you just have to revise 818,000 jobs, and people are warning that we have to revise the job numbers again by another 653,000 jobs. So what are you bragging about? And then you got people who is aligned towards the right trying to characterize our arguments in a typical liberal fashion. Here's Michaela. Why does the woke right pretend it was illegal immigration that they were against when it turned out it was immigration in general? No, we're against illegal immigration because the Democrats are use and abuse the system. And legal immigration, we always wanted restrictions on it. It's not my fault you didn't pay attention. There was many people in the conservative movement that was saying that we need to pause immigration for a while. We're not allowed to pause immigration now, Michaela? And this is my problem, right? And it's not a good look when you're seen as, oh, you benefit from the H-1B1 and you're doing these arguments. It shows that you have a lack of care or consideration for the people who you want their environment in. If I say I want to put I don't want any visitors in my house, doesn't mean I'm against immigration or I'm against visitors. It's just, hey, look, I want to pause it for a while. At least be honest about it. If they assimilate into the culture and legal immigration, what is the problem other than skin color? No one's talking about skin color here. And this is I like Batia. I'm gonna try to say her name properly, guys, but I really like her a lot. I think she got the sentiments of the American First Movement purely like A-okay. It's wages. More workers equal lower wages. This is why Democrats in the 1990s used to be against immigration, because they saw it as an attack on the working American class. Because Democrats in the 1990s used to understand that, these immigrants hurt labor unions because companies can get them for cheaper wages. Nothing changed. But here's Michaela, who just came into this country and act like she knows all, like the entire history, like of the country. You're not assimilating properly is my argument here, Mrs. Peterson. Mr. Fuller, sorry. Your name is Fuller. Any wage earnings that both legal and illegal immigration radically reduces their wages, but elites simply cannot fathom it. I guess it's easier to call people racist than stop getting rich off of cheap labor. Hey, this is why I'm saying the mega movement is slowly becoming the party of the working class. And if you're making things that's against, this is why I always laugh at progressives when they sit here trying to pretend that they're for Americans. I'm like, how you for Americans, but you're for mass immigration into a country? Make it make sense. Another thing why immigration it seems to be more of an issue is this is what's hurting the sentiment of mass migration. Do I have this straight? For 2 decades, hundreds of thousands of young British girls have been gang raped by members of a particularly one ethnic group. Efforts to stop these egregious acts have been carteled by British government leaders, the media. Labour Party blocks grooming gang acquisition into Steiner's conduct as CPS head. This is the stuff that they were doing to protect what? A certain ethnic group. These guys who are majority of the immigrants that are coming into the British border. Right? And it's sitting here telling you that you can't say nothing bad about them or you're a racist. When all you're doing is pointing out the effects that they have on your country. So here I want to report to Patrick Bet-David highlighting that illegal immigrants cause homeless rates to skyrocket 153%. And then I'm going to show you what Canada is doing, because end of the day, Canada acknowledged that migration, no matter if it's illegal or legal, hurts the Canadian people. And I'm going to highlight this after we share this clip with Patrick Bet-David reacting to the news that homelessness is up 18%.
U.S. homelessness is up 18%. And officials are blaming the migrant crisis, devastating natural disasters, and a lack of affordable housing. Rob, I think you got a video on this one here. If you want to prep it. Is this it?
It is. It's a Fox News report on this.
Okay, go for it.
Welcome back. The Department of Housing and Urban Development recording a massive 18% increase in homelessness this past year. Shocking numbers. Its latest report says, which came out today, by the way, at least 770,000 people experienced homelessness. That includes 150,000 children. California, #1 in the country with over 187,000 homeless.
Imagine, and isn't California the same state that allocated $24 billion to solve homelessness in 5 years, and homelessness still increased under their watch? Make it make sense. This is why I said government is not incentivized to solve problems. They're only incentivized to manage problems. But I digress. Let's continue with the video.
HUD says the lack of affordable housing, worsening natural disasters, and the migrant crisis are all making it harder for people to find places to live in.
By the way, the number is U.S. experienced 18.1% increase in homelessness in 2024, brings the total up over 770,000. Rob, can you pull up the homelessness population the last 10 years? According to Department of Housing, the rise was driven by sky-high housing costs, natural disasters like the Maui wildfire, and a surge of migrants, with HUD reporting family homelessness more than doubled in 13 communities impacted by migration, including Denver, Chicago, New York City. Renee Wills of
Denver, Chicago, New York City. I already told you guys the correlation. All of them are sanctuary cities. Right? And then you have Democratic governors trying to fight Tom Homan. And you wonder why Chicago was closer to being one than Texas. You wonder why Chicago lambasts Brandon Johnson for squandering $982 million in taxpayer money on illegal migrants. And then they still want us to take in more people after we're already like the amount of the metrics highlighting the struggle it is for the average American to make it in this country. Why we want to subject a legal immigrant to these problems? When the logical thing to be was, hey, let's get our house in order, then we'll let people in. Hey, let's clean up our house. Let's make sure our house is presentable. Then we'll let you in. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, I think many people are open to the idea that maybe America should pause immigration of all kinds for a couple of years. Because look at the problems that's going on. And I know everyone's going to say, oh, but H-1B1s, they help out in our economy. Yeah, but I think people want further restrictions on that. Because the cheap labor argument. Hey, a lot of these guys are being used for cheaper labor compared to what an American would have cost. These companies are using this, and this is what suppressing our wages are. Everyone's complaining about real wage growth has not increased in decades. You actually lost money under Biden. If you didn't get a 20% raise over the 4 years Biden was a president, you lost money. Your dollars are worth less than it was when Biden started his presidency. And then you want to bring in cheap foreign labor? Most of the H-1B ones are cheap foreign labor. Everyone's talking about how, oh my God, we need engineering talent. And I heard a good argument. If India has such good, superior engineering talent, why isn't China trying to import them into their country? And this is the argument that I've been highlighting about the border debate, that it's a nationalist debate versus a globalist debate. If you're a globalist, you don't have any ties to the country, you want, oh, why not? Just let everyone have access to your economy. When Europe don't even do that. But you expect America to do it at the expense of our own people. That's like me taking care of someone else's family over my own family. This is the same argument. America first has always been consistent. That's the one thing I want to highlight to all those people who are trying to accuse the movement of being woke right. America first has always been consistent. We get mad when we send money to Ukraine. Why are you not mad about that? Why are you calling us woke for that? Oh, these people are suffering in war. Why we should help them out just because they have different nationalities than you? That's not like a woke argument. Why are y'all not saying that? Because I know y'all gonna get backlash over this. But I digress. I think you guys get the message enough. So I'm going to highlight this summary that Google AI happened to help me with. Yes, Canada is restricting immigration to pause population growth and achieve sustainable growth in the long term. Why can't America do that, Michaela? You're from Canada, aren't you? Why are we not allowed to do that? Why are we not allowed to do that here? But you want to call us woke? Permanent residents. The number of permanent residents allowed in Canada will be reduced from 500,000 to 395,000 in 2025, 380,000 in 2026, and 365,000 in 2027. We can't do the same thing here with the H-1B ones. Hey, we want less H-1B ones workers. I think that's the common ground that we can find right now in the people who are pro H-1B1 and anti H-1B1 right now. Hey, let's reduce the number further than what it was right now. The plan is a notable shift in the policy for Justin Trudeau's government. The move comes after public support from immigration around the world is waning, with opinion polls suggesting rising concerns over growing numbers and its impact on housing and social services. Is that a woke argument or is that a logical argument? But people who are trying to characterize people as woke right are the very thing they're accusing other people of. And I'm tired of this, bro. I'm tired. I'm tired of distraction. Let's have the conversation, but let's have the conversation generally. Stop trying to characterize this as some type of racial argument. I can only think of race. Sound like a liberal. Only liberals can think about things in race. Oh, white people have more wealth than black people. I can't understand anything other than it has to be because of racism, says Michaela. Then I come in, my black butt comes in. Hey, do you know the average age of black community is 33 years old and the average age in the white community is like 50? So if older Americans tend to make more money than younger Americans, wouldn't that stand to reason that the reason why there's a wealth disparity between white people and black people is because white people live longer, they have more time to accumulate wealth, and they're older, which means they're more valuable, which means they get paid more, right? That's why they generate more wealth. It's just I'm highlighting things that's not race. But it's such a superficial argument meant to almost gaslight people not to have the conversation. But America's not falling for it. America's not falling for it, bro. I'm sorry. America's not falling for it. Being nation first, being your community first, being your nation. Like, if you want to call that woke right, hey, so be it. So be it. But it's hard to make a term take off when you're not really from the country. I'm just saying. But I digress. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section about how you feel about people trying to mischaracterize this as some type of woke argument. Does it have some validity? Does it not? I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. And how do you feel that many things that Biden has done has actually made it harder for the American citizens by allowing 25 million immigrants coming into the country, which increased demand for housing, which skyrocketed the cost for housing? What do you guys think about this and seeing the domino effects of all the decisions that the government makes and knowing, and this is why government sucks at creating solutions, the government suffers no consequence for being wrong about the border. They want to talk about, oh, look, border crossing is down. Yes, but all those people are still in the country. They wanted to make this idea like as if all these people got deported. No, all these people are still in our country. And then they want to get mad when the American people respond with, we want mass deportation. And all these people are not reading the room. If Americans want mass deportation, what makes you think they want to tolerate more immigrants into the country? Right now, at least. Right now. The only answer you can come to, the only compromise you can come to is we need to reduce legal immigration right now because of the fact that illegals got away with all this. Do I need to show the chart again? But I'm done. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate you guys watching the video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.